Hawks. One summer in our wanderings, we paused on a high ridge looking over a long river valley. The breeze below us was hung with slow circling hawks. Look closely, you said. All the hawks are hunting in pairs. Truly. For every hawk that soared and circled, another carefully investigated closer to the ground. Amazing. As we watched them, you held my hand tight. Thereafter, whenever we saw a hawk carve circles in the sky, you'd say, "Look for its mate." And almost always you'd find another one nearby. This morning, beside the water, I saw 3 hawks over the open hillside, wheeling and hovering, searching for prey. I remembered your words and found the 4th perched on a fence post. Something still felt awkward. My reaching hand remained empty, and I knew intrinsically the unique loneliness of one hawk hunting.
Excuse me.
That was beautiful, Jeff.
Yeah, fantastic, man. That puts me in a trance. No, it's actually.
No, it does.
So have I got enough time for a few tidbits?
Please.
Okay. Tidbits for Seffinga.
Where do we hear these?
Timbits. Yeah. What are timbits?
I'll explain. When I wrote these little poems, they deal with the experience of Tim Hortons, hanging around Tim Hortons and whatnot.
Nice.
And I got a series of 10 together and presented them to somebody. He said, "You should fill that out and do a whole book." And I did. Because they're short, little, small pieces, I had the working title of Timbits. Then I approached Tim Hortons, the corporate offices, and asked if I could use the word for a title of my book. And they said no. And I approached them again and asked, well, we could do we could sell them into if we called them Timbits, we could sell them in Tim Hortons, and half the money could go to them for their kids' camp and stuff like that. They still said no.
Yeah, no.
But I published it anyway under the title, "We Measure Our Time in Coffee Cups." But I still refer to them as Timbits. This is one of the early ones. Once I used to hawk my poems on downtown Toronto streets, mimeographed, 25 cents each. Tim Horton had a burger shack on Yonge Street, served a cheap lunch. We've done well. I've got books of poems out in libraries and stores. He's got hundreds of donut shops on hundreds of street corners. Now I always stop at Tim Hortons for coffee and a donut. I would envy him if he wasn't so long dead. But I do wonder if he reads my poems now that he's got the time.
That's good.
Okay. If Tim Horton had had his business epiphany after the trade to the Sabres, what would the world look like now? Would there be chicken shacks beside every interstate from Albany to Reno, specializing in suicide buffalo wings? Imagine all the cops and sheriff's deputies sucking sauce off their trigger fingers, downing cold bottles and cans of Canada Dry, and belching. Impossible. Astounding, but so believable. That's no way to deal with an addiction. On Christmas Day, every Tim Hortons in town is dark and closed. No decent place to properly enjoy that life-sustaining coffee and donuts. At the Esso pumps out towards the freeway, the Tiger Express claims to serve Tim Hortons. The taste is almost right, but the donuts are stale or non-existent. And where is the light, the smell, the laughter of people, the ambience? The whole experience unsatisfactory, like methadone to a true junkie, a useless, cheap fix.
Jeff, that is so funny. That is so good. Oh my God, that's a howl.
This should be the lifeblood of any model city. Separated shopping clusters, traffic that flows smoothly in well-marked channels, homes away from the noises and smells of heavy industries, libraries and galleries distributed throughout, green space, parks, playgrounds easily accessible, theaters and restaurants among the downtown towers, and within walking distance of every home, Tim Hortons.
They didn't want to sell it.
Yeah, I was just thinking that
At the Tim Hortons kiosk in the mall, management trainees trying to impress each other stand at the chest-high counter, 1 foot on the rail. The bullshit flies and lies pile up knee-high. It's one thing to brag while wearing a solemn face over martinis, accentuating every point with a swizzle stick. But try it slurping coffee through a lid with powdered sugar on your chin. Ladies in frocks and so perfect hair, with all the men armored in vested suits. When champagne flows at exclusive new gallery openings, raise an eyebrow at what you may overhear. Of course, love, they're not here tonight. They always spend 2 weeks this time of year in Switzerland. How else do you spend the profits when the family owns 3 Tim Hortons franchises in prime locations? She takes her coffee black, considers herself lucky. 1 year under a Horton's rim, she won a bicycle. The next, another bicycle. She's got them both stashed in her garage. The score so far this year is lots of free coffees, several muffins and bagels, 17 fattening donuts that she gave away to friends and relatives and strangers in the street. Maybe creating customers for Tim Hortons.